On Abbott Elementary Season 1 Episode 8, Janine realizes she knows less about her coworkers than she assumed after learning a shocking fact about Jacob's life outside of school. In Gregory's classroom, it's clear his students aren't the problem, he is. On the way to Abbott, Janine and Jacob listen to Janine's boyfriend Tariq's new mixtape. Sarcastically, Jacob notices that Tariq is always using Janine's car. Tariq will be performing at the Friends Against Drug Exposure Drug Assembly at Abbott, and Janine has to remind him no after-party will be allowed. It's clear Jacob can't stand Tariq, but Janine tries valiantly to get him to hang out with them after work sometime. She mentions setting him up with a guy she knows, and Jacob informs her that he isn't sure how his boyfriend Zach would feel about that. Janine is shocked that she didn't know Jacob had a boyfriend, and even more shocked when he refers to them as work friends, not real friends who talk about deep stuff. Jacob leaves for class, and Janine has a million questions about Zach, and even more questions about why she didn't know about him. In Gregory's class, he forces the kids through math drills when they ask silly questions about turkeys during his addition lesson. When Barbara stops by, Gregory tells her they're practicing math drills at recess to make up for the entire class underperforming in math. Barbara calmly tells Gregory that if one student fails, blame the student, but if every student fails, blame the teacher. She asks him to come practice with her at lunchtime, and Gregory goes back to drilling the kids. At lunch, Gregory demonstrates the turkey lesson to Barbara and Melissa. They remind him that breaking up the day with silly questions, disruptions, and a little fun is good for the students. There's a thunderstorm outside, so the teachers stay in for lunch. Janine is excited that they'll all get to stay in and get to know each other, but Jacob mentions she's only interested because he told her they were work friends. Melissa, Ava, Barbara, and Gregory all agree with Jacob, but Janine isn't stymied in the least. She goes out to Danny Wok, the best chicken in Philly, and brings it back to her coworkers with a condition. If they play a game where each of them reveals a secret fact about themselves, they can eat the chicken. Reluctantly, Melissa, Ava, Barbara, and Jacob participate. During the game, Gregory takes a FaceTime call from his father. His father asks him when he's going to quit his babysitting job and come do a real man's work. He demands Gregory come work landscaping with him and give up on being a principal. Gregory has been trying to become a principal since college and is obviously depressed his father doesn't support him. Janine's secret is that she's only dated one man in her life, Tariq. They've been dating since 8th grade, and Janine is in love with him. She tries to defend her relationship with her coworkers and claims that she's going to marry him. They're obviously surprised, and Barbara and Melissa ask how she could know well enough to marry him. Eva laughs so hard she asks for a chair to fall off of. Janine storms outside, and Gregory follows her out into the rain with an umbrella. He holds it over her and tells her not to focus on what their coworkers are saying. He comes clean about his dad not wanting him to continue teaching, and when Janine asks him if teaching makes him happy, Gregory tells her it could. Standing close together under the umbrella, Gregory asks Janine if Tariq makes her happy. She looks up at him and starts to answer when Tariq pulls up in her car and asks Gregory if he's the talent manager for the drug assembly event. While Tariq gets ready to perform, he and Janine pray and do their secret handshake before he goes on. She's thinking about what Gregory asked her and pretends to be nervous for him. Tariq starts to perform a terrible set of verses about not doing drugs, and Barbara and Melissa are shocked that this is the man Janine wants to marry. Ava naturally kind of likes Tariq and tells Barbara he has bars. Meanwhile, Jacob comes clean to Janine that he didn't speak to her about his relationship because he didn't want to talk to her about hers. Gregory notices that all of the children are dancing in the auditorium, except for his class. Slowly, Gregory starts to move his shoulders to the beat, and eventually he gets really into it, and his class joins him joyfully. Jacob compassionately tells Janine that he had an ex that he thought he would always be with, but he realized they had outgrown each other. She asks if it was hard to let go, and he's honest about how difficult it was to move on. He also tells her it gave him a chance to be his best self, and that maybe she should give herself a chance to be the best Janine that she can be without Tariq. No matter what she decides, Jacob reminds her that they really are more than work friends and that he's here for her either way.